here. Okay. Close that. And hello, Tango Mercenary. Okay. Okay. How is everyone doing? I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm sorry I started the stream kind of late today, guys, but it was because I was just working on that money guide most of the day today, trying to get that out. But on Sunday, we'll be starting up a much earlier, there'll be a much earlier, stream on Sunday. Are you getting Red Dead Redemption for PS4? I mean, yes, but I'm going to be doing a comparison, so don't get it. Just watch my videos if you want to see what it looks like, and I will show, you know, a comparison between PS3 and PS4 to show there's no difference. Hey, guys. Do you think Rockstar will ever get better? They'll release good games in the future, but if you're asking, is the corporate greed gonna end? No. Hey, bro, I've got a trader and moonshine sale. Okay, we can help you in a little bit. So when we get to shore, I'd like to do a bounty, and then we can help you with that lock. What do you think about Rockstar acquiring 5M? I want to make a video about that tomorrow. I wanted to make a video about it today, giving my opinion, but I was just too exhausted to make a video about it today still. But basically, my thoughts on it is, let me see here, I know, get some food here, 1 second here. Okay, my thoughts on it, though, thank you, Pilot Man, is, there might be something, you know, they might ruin it. Like, Rockstar is either gonna shut it down or they're gonna try to monetize it. There's some reason that they're acquiring it, though. Have I tried Cayo Perico Assault? No, I haven't. Thank you, Enrique, Toretto. Thank you, man. When will you play Bully? In September, we'll do it. Have I been working out lately? Yes, I have. I try to go to the gym like 3 days a week, but like the last week I've been slacking though. Is this game fun with friends? Yeah. When will you stream Red Dead 1 online? Probably when I complete Red Dead 1. So sometime in September we'll do a Red Dead 1 live stream. When's the next Max Payne video? Tomorrow. Bro, how much do you bench? About 135 pounds. But next time... Whoa, what the... Okay. Next time, though, I'm gonna try to do 140 pounds. Did you hear Rockstar bought 5M? Yeah, I did. I just mentioned it. 3rd Street Saint Maxis. And thank you, Scott. Thanks for the streams. No problem. No problem, man. And thank you for the 135 pounds, not 255. But 255, yes, that's very, very heavy. Did mafias exist in Red Dead 2's time? They did. They just weren't called mafias. What people don't know is that mafias have existed for, you know, really since the beginning of time when you think about it. It's, ever since, like, we've had any kind of civilization, you've had crime organizations. Which, you know, it wouldn't necessarily be the Italian mafia, but you've had crime organizations that have existed since ancient times. what's your opinion on the fall of the Byzantine Empire? The Byzantines made a massive mistake, and the biggest mistake the Byzantines made is that they relied way too much on on Western Europe for help. That was the thing with the Byzantine Empire. Is a lot of the Western European kingdoms at that time, they were the ones who provided security for the Byzantine Empire, and the Byzantine military is kind of crap in that time period, and so they relied way too heavily on the West. And what happened is, because they didn't focus on their own military enough, they got destroyed by the Ottomans. I don't know, my cat. I'm confused about that too. You like scare games? Depends on the game. I like games like Outlast. Bro, do you use protein powder? Yeah, but I use the one that's not flavored. The healthiest version. Oh, well, happy birthday then, Marjay. What's the reason you're done watching MCU movies nowadays? I'm just not into the superhero stuff. The thing is, though, I'll tell you something. If I'm gonna watch a movie, right, I want to watch something historical. That's what I want to watch. I don't want to watch, like, I want to watch, like, something historical, like, maybe, like, about war or something like that. Maybe I'll watch, like, a spy movie, but, like, superhero movies, not really for me. The one TV show that I do want to watch is I want to watch Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal, I played those games when I was a kid, so I do want to watch that show. When I get around to it, I'll watch it. Do you count your calories? No, I don't. But if you want to know, there's 2 movies that I really want to watch this year. If you want to know the type of movies I like. The 2 movies I really want to watch this year is I want to watch Guy Ritchie's The Covenant. That movie's not in theaters anymore, but I'm gonna rent it, and I want to watch that movie. I really do want to see that movie. That movie, it's basically about, like, the fall of Afghanistan that happened, like, 2 years ago. And it's, the story in the movie is that there's, like, this American soldier, and he gets his life saved by, like, an Afghan interpreter, and then, like, years later, when, like, Afghanistan falls to the Taliban, he goes back to Afghanistan to try to get him and his family out. That movie I really want to watch. And I wanna watch, in September, there's that movie called The Equalizer 3. I've seen the Equalizer movies. I really want to watch that one. That one, I love Equalizer, so I do really want to watch that. Do you feel any resentment towards Rockstar Games for what they did with Red Dead Online? Resentment, that's like you're pissed at somebody for doing something, right? That's what resentment is. Let me look up what resentment means again. I'm pretty sure it's what it means. You're pissed at somebody for doing something bad. Bitter indication at having been treated unfairly. Disappointment, disgust, and anger at somebody. Do I feel resentment towards Rockstar? I am very disappointed with Rockstar, what they did with Red Dead Online, 100%. And the thing about this is, I do want to say this. Part of the reason that we don't have a GTA 6 trailer, part of the reason why we have smaller updates on GTA Online, part of the reason on why Red Dead Online has gotten abandoned is because of the fanboys. I blame the fanboys somewhat for it. They're not totally at fault for it, but I would say they are somewhat at fault for it too. Because have you guys noticed that Rockstar is like that studio that, like, has, like, this massive fanboy following? And, like, I'll give you a perfect example of what I mean, right? Red Dead Remaster is not gonna have multiplayer. Let's go and do a bounty. So I'll give you guys a perfect example of what I mean. When Rockstar does something stupid, the community freaks out, right? But then generally forgives them over time, and there's people who make excuses for them and defend them. But when other developers, they do stupid things, they're not as forgiven as much. Like, I'll give you a perfect example. You know DICE, the developer of Battlefield. Battlefield has a pretty big following. There's a lot of passionate fans that love the Battlefield games. However, though, people don't make excuses for DICE like they make excuses for Rockstar, for example. And when Battlefield 1 came out, most Battlefield fans loved it. Battlefield 1 was like a critically acclaimed game, like it was an amazing game. I think Battlefield 1 was the last good Battlefield game that we had. And Battlefield 5 came out, it was a buggy mess, and it was also very historically inaccurate. A lot of the weapons, their uniforms, the stories. And what happened was when fans got pissed off at the developer for that, saying that it was like a historically authentic World War II game, the developer said, oh, if you don't like it, don't buy it. And what happened was Battlefield 5 had terrible sales. Like, the sales on it were just absolutely terrible compared to Battlefield 1. And then Battlefield 2042 came out, it was a disaster. And the sales were just terrible, too. It was a buggy mess. And so the fans largely did not buy it. But when it comes to Rockstar games, people are still, you know, going to buy their products like crazy. They're going to buy their games. They're going to, you know, support the developers. So, like, Rockstar doesn't get backlash like a lot of other developers do because there's this massive, like, fanboy following of them. That's what I would say about it. One moment here. And drop my mouse. Okay. Let's see here. Hey Pro, just thought I'd let you know for if and when you play the Warriors, it's best to play the PS2 version. The PS5 version is graphical glitches. Love the content. Thank you for telling me, Stanfill. I will keep that in mind. Thanks, man. And thank you, Tricky Mario. Thank you guys for those super chats, Stanfill and Tricky Mario. Hey Pro, I hope you'd like that announcement Rockstar made about Red Dead. Also, did you get around to watching the Portland video? No, I won't. I didn't, Mario. But I'll tell you what. When I'm at the gym, I'm probably gonna go maybe later tonight. And yes, I do go to the gym usually late at night because there's nobody there at that hour. When I go to the gym probably later tonight to do a workout, I'll probably watch some of the videos you sent me. Let's see here. So. What I was saying about, like, Rockstar and the fanboyism is that Rockstar fanboys have some blame for this disaster that we're having now. Because guys, remember what happened 2 years ago? Remember that? When Blood Money came out. And the game basically, Red Dead Online at that point, Rockstar didn't announce that it's done. But they were pretty much there at that point. They were just saying that it was pretty much over at that point. Like 2 years ago, we knew that Red Dead Online was pretty much over at that point with the Red Dead the Blood Money DLC. And 2 years ago, if you guys remember, there were so many comments, and I saw those comments on my YouTube videos. I seen so many comments of people saying, oh, you know, you can't blame Rockstar for abandoning Red Dead Online because it's not as profitable, professional, it's not good for business. And it's like, you know, if Rockstar abandons Red Dead Online, that's good because it means we'll get GTA 6 quicker, and it also means that we're going to get bigger updates on GTA Online. Well, guess what? We listened to those people. 2 years later, what happens? Have we gotten bigger updates on GTA Online since Rockstar has abandoned Red Dead Online? Have we really? You know, the last big update on GTA Online was the contract. The contract was the last good update on GTA Online in some time. That was December of 2021. And the updates have gotten smaller. Red Dead Online is pretty much dead. It's been abandoned. It's in a terrible state. And GTA Definitive Edition, abandoning Red Dead Online, smaller GTA Online updates. And now this, you know, GTA Plus and this now. This is what we get to, this Red Dead re-release. So, for the people that were defending Rockstar, they were saying, oh, it's good for business that Red Dead Online gets abandoned. Well, I would say to those people, couldn't you make the same argument that re-releasing Red Dead Redemption 1 on the PS4 for $50 is also good for business? Couldn't you make that same argument? I'm not saying it is good for business, but I'm just saying I'm using their exact same argument against them for the people that were defending Red Dead Online getting canceled. Oh, it's good for business, it's all this, you know, stuff. But now, like, yeah. That's pretty much what I'll say about it. Is you could say that it's good for business what Rockstar is doing here. And that's the thing is that as a business, you know, Rockstar is a business, sure. But I know that they have to make money, but you have to have some morals too. And you have to have some honor and integrity. Which unfortunately so many developers and businesses don't have any more honor. They don't have any more integrity, which you should have honor and integrity, especially when you're running a business. That's not, you know, good business to do stuff like this. Sometimes it's better for a business to take a hit and keep their customers happy than do something greedy and piss off their customers. That's what's important about business, and that's what a lot of people don't understand a lot of times. Hey, bro, just got a haircut today. How are you, man? I'm good, Blinded Eagle. How are you, man? Honestly, we all have to take blame for the way Rockstar conducts business. We made them a success, and despite Rockstar doing worse, we keep buying their crap. Yeah, I would agree with that also, Fernando. Well, can you post your message again, Zach? How are you gonna take a hit when you're still buying the products? Well, look, here's the thing about this, is I've never bought GTA Plus. I boycotted GTA Plus, and I refuse to buy GTA Plus. You know, me, unlike a lot of other YouTubers, I've never bought GTA Plus. I never have had it. Never, ever. So you can look at all my videos since GTA Plus has been announced. You will never see me playing with GTA Plus. I've never had GTA Plus. When it comes to the Definitive Edition, I bought the Definitive Edition because I was excited for it. You know, I pre-ordered it and I bought it. When it comes to the Red Dead, you know, re-release on the PS4, I've been telling people in my YouTube videos not to buy it. Now, I am buying it, yes, but I'm buying it primarily to show people why you shouldn't buy it. That's why I'm buying it. I'm gonna do a comparison video. I'm gonna show the PS3 version and the PS4 version side by side, so you guys can see that it's pretty much the exact same thing. So don't buy Red Dead Redemption on the PS4. Watch my video and you can see it's no different. It's me, Near Pity. Played with you a long time ago on GTA Online and PS4. The main culprit of the fanboys spending money on trash from Rockstar, now taking Advent. Well, thank you, Zuhair. How are you, man? I haven't seen you in some time. Patrick, should I start working out? Yeah, I mean, working out is generally a good thing to do. You know, the thing about that is, I'll tell you guys something, is, I used to do, like, insane workouts, like I did. You would think I didn't, but I did used to do some crazy, you know, workouts. I overdid it too much. You know, basically, what was happening is, you know, every single day, when I woke up, I would do, like, 50 push-ups. Like every day. You know, I would do like 20 push-ups, you know, one set, take a, you know, break for 1 minute, do another 20, and then eventually get to 50 and to 60. And, you know, every day when I woke up, I would do that. And I would go to the gym every other day. So I would be at the gym like 5 days a week. Just 5 days a week doing workouts. And what happened is, you know, and because I kept working out so much, my body started hurting. And basically what happened was I felt like needles were pinching me. That's like what I felt. Like my muscles, I felt like needles were pinching me. That's what it felt like. And it was just not a good feeling. And what ended up happening is when I was at the gym once, last year, I was doing pull-ups. And when I was doing pull-ups, I sprained or pulled something. I don't remember what it was. It was in my neck. And what happened was I was in pain for basically like 2 months. I didn't have to wear a cast or anything like that, but I was just in pain for 2 months, just taking ibuprofen and just a bunch of other stuff. And that was because I worked out so much that when my muscles got sore, I wasn't able to recover them fully. And so I stopped doing those crazy workouts. And what I do now is I work out every 2 days. That's what I do. So I work out 1 day, and then 2 days later, 2 days I take a break, and then I work out another day. So instead of working 5 days a week, I just work out 3 days a week. That's just what I do, because it just, you know, it was just too much at that point, and it was just, it hurt me. You need magnesium. The thing about that is I actually was taking magnesium, and it didn't help. Your thoughts on the remake on Max Payne 1 and 2? I'm excited for it, Zuhair. Thanks, man. Professional, can you hear me? No, I'm in game chat, so I guess the game chat in private lobbies doesn't work. Quick tip for Max Payne 1. The killer mercs are field mercenaries. The killer suit mercs protect the Acer Corporation Productions. The suits have similar combat lines from iconic Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah, but the thing about that, Fernando, is a game like GTA 6 is too big to boycott. Is that a boycott like that is going to do nothing to it, unfortunately. 3 weeks till my PS5 gets here. Thanks, Mom, for the gift. Oh, that's good, a blinded eagle. I'm happy for you. Yeah, you're right, Viking. I did swim a lot. I do like to swim a bit. Bro, have you gotten stick drift in your controller? It's kind of weird. I have gotten stick drift a little bit in the Edge controller, but the stick drift that I have gotten, it only lasted for like a few weeks and then it went away. So it's kind of weird how it's kept turning to the left and then it stopped. Oh, hey, Saucer Cats, how are you, man? I haven't seen you in some time. How you been? I do want to play DMZ with you again in the future. I've been playing more Call of Duty. I just been really busy with a lot of videos at my rental property, but I'll probably play DMZ with you again in the future. Well, what if we got a remake of Mercenaries POD? Only thing I'd change is have North Korea become a superpower and attempt to transition to democracy. Thank you, Zach, for the comment. But no, I don't think if they do a Mercenaries remake, they don't really gotta do anything. Don't even gotta change the voice actors. Just change the engine. That's it. I don't think that it was a distraction from the Red Dead port. I've been enjoying your Max Payne videos, bro. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Mustang. Thanks, man. Professional, you should do a video on trolling the scammers in your comment section who pretend to be you. Scammer pretending to be the professional gets trolled by the real professional. Actually, I've already done that. So I was actually talking to that scammer. I started texting that scammer that was pretending to be me and, the bot comments, saying, oh, you want a giveaway and all this other crap. And, I made a Telegram account. I started texting him. This was a few days ago. And, this scammer, unfortunately, I was not able to get them in a phone call. That one I wasn't. I tried really badly to get them in a phone call, but it just didn't work. They wouldn't get into a phone call with me. But, basically, after, what I did was, how the scam basically works, the scammers where they pretend to be YouTubers. You guys have seen those scams, right? Where, like, the scammers will basically pretend to be a YouTuber. They'll take the YouTuber's profile picture. They'll post a bot comment saying, oh, you want a giveaway, message me on Telegram and stuff like that. And basically what I did was I messaged the scammer on Telegram pretending to be Aiden Pierce. That's, the name that I use. The guy from Watch Dogs. I texted the scammer that was pretending to be me, the professional, a fake professional on Telegram, and I said, yo, I'm a professional, I'm one of your biggest fans. I'm gonna have a video about this next week, by the way, because there's a lot of editing in this one. It's just a pretty long video. It's like a 3-hour video, because I just went, so many messages just going back and forth with them. But basically what happened was I'm like professional, like one of your biggest fans, and they're like, oh, that's great and everything, and then they say, do you want a giveaway? Choose a number, and out of 1 from 10, I was like, I choose 5, and then the scammer was like, oh, you won the professional's like MacBook and iPhone 14 giveaway, and you won a professional like free, t-shirt and all this, and I'm like, oh, great, how can I claim that? And the scammer is like, oh, you have to pay $209 for the shipping, here's my PayPal. That's basically what the scam is that the scammers will say that you're pretending to be a YouTuber, telling you that you've won some giveaway with like an iPhone and a laptop and all this other stuff, and then what they will do is they'll tell you, pay $200 for the shipping. And the thing about this is, think about this, if a YouTuber was actually doing a giveaway, right, and they were giving away a MacBook and an iPhone 14, wouldn't they already pay for shipping? If they're buying that expensive products, wouldn't they already pay for the shipping? But basically what happened was I kept telling what I kept doing is I kept creating fake PayPal receipts. So on my computer, I kept creating fake PayPal receipts, and I kept pretending that I kept sending the money to the scammer. And the scammer's like, oh, I haven't gotten the money. And the scammer's like, oh, try this PayPal account. And then I made a fake receipt for that one, and the scammer's like, oh, refund your payment, try this one. And I got the scammer to give me 3 PayPal accounts, which I actually am in the process of reporting all 3 of them. And what happened is I actually, this scammer was actually a lot more smarter than the other scammers. And the reason the scammer was smarter than the other scammers was because this scammer, I created a Grabify link where I could grab their IP address if they click on the link, and I was trying really badly to get him to click on that link. Like, I kept posting the link, and I kept saying, oh, my PayPal information is here, and he wouldn't click on it. And this went on for like an hour, And then what ended up happening is I told the scammer, like, can you please check the link? My PayPal information is there. And then, like, after an hour, he finally clicked on it, and I got his IP address. And I figured out what country he was in, and I figured out what city he was in. And it was another scammer that was actually in Nigeria again. This time, the guy was actually in a city called Abuja, Nigeria, which is apparently the capital of Nigeria. I thought that Lagos was the capital, but Abuja, Nigeria is where this guy was at. And what ended up happening is I eventually confront the scammer, and, you know, we just have a bunch of text messages going back and forth, and when you saw that community post that I posted the other day, that was just me arguing with the scammer, just going back and forth with him, just getting into a bit of an argument. So most of them are from Nigeria? No, I would say that, when you see those bot comments, like the bot YouTube comments, oftentimes a lot of them are actually from Nigeria. But the thing about this is the reason that the scams are so common in Nigeria, the reason for that, it's not that Nigerians are more prone to scamming than anyone else. It's not that. It's that the police in Nigeria don't do anything. That's the reason. Like, some people blame poverty and they say, oh, because Nigeria is a poor country, that's why people scam. But the thing about this is, you know, there's a lot of poor countries around the world, but in those poor countries, the police actually do something when they have scammers. But in Nigeria, actually, police don't do anything. And that's actually why scammers are so out of control in Nigeria. It's for that reason. It's because the police really don't do anything. The police don't care. Like, I've submitted a police report, actually 2 police reports at this point, and I'm going to submit a 3rd police report pretty soon about this scammer, and I highly doubt they're going to do anything. Like, it's already been a month and, like, 2 weeks since I submitted a police report, and it's been, like, a week and a half since I submitted another one, and they haven't replied to me. Even though the Nigerian police sent me an email telling me that they will respond to me in a week, they never responded to me. So that is why the scammers are basically so out of control, is because the police don't do anything. And when you really think about it, America would have just as many scammers as Nigeria if the police did not do anything in America. If Americans were, like, scamming people in, like, you know, in France or Britain or, other countries, for example, you know, the American police would do something. They would get on that really quickly. You know, it doesn't really matter what country Americans were scamming. If Americans were scamming any other country, if the police in that country complained to the American government, you would get arrested in America. You would. You might not necessarily get extradited, but you're going to face consequences for what you did. But when it comes to a country like Nigeria, you will have people that will scam, and the police in Nigeria will not do anything. So if the American police was as incompetent as the Nigerian police, we would have just as many scammers in America. But that's what I say is that I'm so disappointed in the Nigerian police. I really, really am, because as somebody who went to school for law enforcement, it really hurts me to see such an incompetent police force. Don't get me wrong. I know that there's good cops in Nigeria. I know there's honest cops in Nigeria that want to do the right thing, don't get me wrong. But it's the fact that the incompetence is just so much. There's just so much incompetence in the police in Nigeria. And it's not even corruption. Like, people say, oh, they're corrupt and they work with the scammers. It's not even necessarily corruption. It's just incompetence. That's just pretty much what it is. It's the way that the police in Nigeria look at this. And it's the same thing in India. The way the Nigerian and the Indian police look at this. When they see, like, these scammers scamming people in, like, America, Canada, you know, Great Britain, places like that, they really don't care. They're like, oh, you know, they're not scamming our people, so we really don't care. That's pretty much what it is. That's why the police in those countries like India and Nigeria, they don't do anything, because they really don't care if the scammers are scamming people outside of their country. If you know those scammers, you know, those tech support people and all those other people, they never scam inside their country. So they never pull that stuff in India. They never pull that stuff in Nigeria. It's because they know if they do that, they're going to get raided and they're going to get arrested. But if they do it to other countries, then the police aren't going to come after them. And that's why it's so out of control in those countries. What if they're too busy on different cases? Well, then they gotta hire more people. It's as simple as that. It's like the police in those countries have an obligation to uphold the law. And what I actually wrote in the when I wrote my police report to the Nigerian police, I actually complained to them in the police report. In the second police report, I said to them, I submitted a police report, and you guys didn't do anything about this. And I said, you guys as law enforcement officials have an obligation to uphold the law. And it doesn't matter whether the victim of this scam is not in your country. It doesn't matter whether the victims are Americans or in any other country. As a law enforcement official, a victim of a crime is a victim anywhere. And you have a duty to uphold the law and punish the people responsible for that. So it just honestly pisses me off when, like, I see, like, you know, police in, like, a country like Nigeria. They're like, oh, you know, it's not happening to, you know, our people, so we don't care. That's, you know, that's honestly, you know, pisses me off. And that's why, you know, like I said, I know that some of my viewers are from Nigeria. I've seen your comments before, guys, and I'm not trying to insult, you know, your country. You know, Nigeria is a nice place, and I know there's good cops, but it's just that when I just see stuff like that, like the police in like countries like Nigeria just not caring when people are getting scammed in like America. It honestly just pisses me off, and that's not good law enforcement procedure. That's not how you do things. How are you able to contact the Nigerian police? Oh, there's emails. There's emails that you can look them up. There's ways to contact them. You just write a report. You can submit a police report online, and I've done that. Did I see the Modern Warfare 3 trailer? I saw the teaser, yeah. Oh, I missed a few super chats. I'm sorry. Imagine Rockstar putting GTA Plus on GTA 6 as the last straw. Oh, GTA Plus and GTA 6. Well, it's probably gonna come in. Your tweet on the U.S. government logic. Oh yeah, the U.S. government could put a man on the moon, but they can't figure out who left cocaine in the White House. Yep. Thank you, Blind Eagle, and thank you the real GD Lamar. Bro, do you think there's a good trade school to be a mechanic in Arizona? Oh yeah, I'm sure there is. There's good trade schools pretty much everywhere, JM. Thank you for the super chat. Who was it that needed help with their business? Somebody needed help, right? Yeah, we could, Justin. But yeah, guys, that's just to sum it up. What I've been saying about Nigeria is like I'm just personally pissed at the police in Nigeria that they're not doing anything about this, and that's what I say is it's ultimately incompetence. That's what it is. And if America had police that were just not doing anything, we would have just as many scammers in scamming people in other countries. We'd have American call centers too. Let's see here. Say, would you ever be an international liaison for the Nigerian or Indian police on dealing with scammers? Well, if I didn't do YouTube and I pursued my law enforcement degree, if I could be like, some resource officer where I could go to on some police program, I could go to those countries and help them deal with scammers and shut this stuff down. Sure, I'd be for that, but I'm not really interested, honestly, in becoming a cop anymore. One of my friends, though, he actually sent me an article about this one Indian police officer who actually reported his department because that one Indian police officer said that they know where the scammers are, they know where the scam call centers are, and they're not doing anything about that. And he says that basically his department is incompetent, and he's actually taking his department to court. And that's a good police officer. That's right there. That's a good, honest cop. And so I really hope that guy doesn't get fired. Let's see here. Bro, as a landlord, is it hard to find tenants? Not really, no. Because people always need a place to live. The thing is though is landlords are something that is never really gonna go out of business. It's not a dying industry. It's a growing industry, actually. Can we also finish talking about that idea you had? Oh, you mean you wanted to do the giveaway on your channel? Yeah, well, Blinded Eagle is considering doing a giveaway for the new Spider-Man game that's coming out on his channel, guys. Just let me know how you want to do that, Blinded Eagle, and I can, make a post showing your channel whenever you want to do that. Landlords can be kind of annoying, sure, but the thing about that is that there are also, scumbag tenants. Because what I'll tell you guys is that so many people, let's see here, items, let's get some food here. So many people talk about the scumbag landlords, but I don't think also enough people talk about the scumbag tenants, because scumbag tenants do exist. You know, all of my tenants have been good. I've had 2 tenants so far in my rental property, and they've been both good. You know, there hasn't really been any issues. But what I'll tell you guys is that I did grow up in a rental property when I was younger. It was a rental property that my parents actually owned, and this is, you know, it was the rental property. My parents were not rich people, by the way. You know, when you think of landlords, you think of people that are, you know, fairly wealthy, but my parents weren't like that. You know, my grandmother, she came to this country in the 1970s, and, you know, she worked really hard and, you know, had to purchase that, you know, rental property. And about the rental property that my grandma had, it's the one we grew up in. It was basically one of those small little apartment buildings in New York City. If anybody's ever watched Spider-Man, the original Spider-Man movies, do you know that building that Peter lives in with Mr. Ditkovich, where he's like the landlord? It's very similar. That's the type of building that I grew up in. It was very, very similar to that one. They even got the staircases right in those buildings. So whenever I watch Spider-Man 2 and 3, like, I remember I just think of, like, you know, where I grew up, because it was very similar, like, you know, building. Very similar apartments too. Basically, what happened is my parents had brought in a lot of tenants over the years, and so I've seen, like, you know, good tenants come and go, and I've seen really, really bad tenants. And I'll tell you something. I saw this one guy once, who I've told this story before, by the way. So people might be, you just don't be surprised you hear me telling this one again, but it's because somebody's asking me the question. There was this one guy who came in, and, you know, he's a Polish guy. You know, he was in his 20s at the time, which, you know, right now I guess he would be in his 40s, because this is, you know, when I was a teenager. But this guy was in his 20s, he was a college student. And the thing about this is, my parents did a background check, nothing wrong. You know, there was no issues on the check, nothing whatsoever. He had a job, you know, he had a stable income. I forget what he did, but I remember he was able to afford the rent. But basically about him is, even though he passed all the background checks and he seemed like a nice guy, you know, you can't always get everything right. And what ended up happening is, this guy wasn't a criminal, he wasn't a drug addict, but what he was the worst alcoholic that I have ever seen in my life, ever. So I guess you could say he's a drug addict, because alcohol, I guess, technically is a drug. But this guy was the worst alcoholic I have ever seen in my life. This guy was such a bad alcoholic that what he did was, he would get drunk on vodka almost like every night or every other night, and whenever he would get drunk, he would be screaming. Like, he would just scream. I don't know why he did that. He didn't even live with anyone. He just lived by himself, so he'd just get drunk, and he would just scream. And what he would do is he would flip tables over, he would throw chairs, he would punch holes in the walls. He destroyed the entire apartment, like the whole unit that my parents rented out for him. That's what this guy did. And here's the thing about this. This guy actually lived above me. So where my bedroom was, I lived in an apartment below him. That's the apartment that my parents lived in. And he lived in the unit that was right above me. And I remember when I was going to sleep, I would just hear him knocking stuff over and screaming, like when I was in my bed at night. And that's like, it just disturbed me as a kid. And that's like, this guy was just completely out of control. And what actually happened was, the guy drank so much, he nearly drank himself to death. Like, it was just that bad that my dad had to call 911, and they had to take him to the hospital because he nearly killed himself drinking. And what ended up happening is, a few weeks later after that, after he got out of the hospital, he nearly drank himself to death again. And my dad had to call 911 again. And my dad at that point basically said, "That's it, get the hell out of here. Get out of my building." That's what my dad said to him. And he surprisingly agreed to move out. Because he could have fought it, I guess, in New York, because New York really favors tenants when it comes to landlords. And so he could have probably fought that, but he actually agreed to move out. And so I'm glad he actually left. But that was that was one of the worst, probably the worst tenant that I've ever seen in my life. It was a nightmare tenant. And this guy passed the background checks. So that's the thing about this. So, like, people think, oh, they passed the background check, they're good. Not necessarily, because somebody might not have a criminal record, but they might be, a psycho. How much did your property cost, and why did it take for the bank to approve your mortgage? And how can someone like me learn to get into it? When did you get into it, and how many times did you renovate it? How does it all work? Well, I actually did not renovate the house, the rental property that I own, Imperialist. Thank you for the super chat. The reason I didn't renovate the house is because it's a brand new house. The rental property that I purchased was built in 2012, so everything was still fairly new. I did replace a few things. I replaced, like, shower rods in the house. I had, like, a new screen door installed. I had, what else did I do in the house? I had a new sink placed in the house. I had, what else? There was something else that I did too. I'm trying to remember. There was one other thing that I did in the house. Oh yeah, I had new logs installed in the fireplace. So that was but yeah, that was that's what I say is that here's the thing. This is the thing about this imperialist, is that a lot of times what people do is people look for the cheapest rental property that they can buy. And that's a mistake. You should never do that. Never look for the cheapest property that you can buy, because there's a reason that it's so cheap. There's a reason for that. Me personally, when I'm buying a rental property, I refuse to buy any house that is over 20 years old. And the reason that I only purchase 20-year-old houses is because I might spend a little bit more money, but I'm not gonna have to worry on any crap. Like the chances of stuff breaking in the house and something going wrong are much less than if you buy you buy a house from the 1940s, the 30s, they're cheaper, but chances are something's gonna break. Pipes are gonna break. Something is going to go wrong, and then it's going to be a nightmare to fix everything, and your tenants are going to be calling you constantly, and you're going to keep sending repairmen to fix stuff like that, because you do have an obligation to your tenants. You can't just screw them over. You have to be a good landlord. So there's so that's what I'll say. I'm always a fair landlord. I always help my tenants out, and whenever my tenants need anything, I get right on it. But that's what I say is the old houses can be a massive nightmare. And, what is it? Oh, with the rental property, I actually did not take out a mortgage on the rental property. The rental property is actually something that I saved up for I pretty much spent most of my life savings on it. I didn't have that much money left after I had acquired the rental property. I didn't want to get a mortgage because I didn't want to be stuck paying something for many years. So that's what it was. But I think it was a good investment. That was pretty much it. But I'll tell you guys something. When I tried to withdraw my money from the bank kept arguing with me when I tried to withdraw my money. Because what the bank kept telling me is, like, the bank kept telling me, oh, do a mortgage with us, we'll give you a good rate and everything like that, But I was like, no, I don't need a mortgage. It's like, I found a really good deal on the house, and so I got the house, and I just paid for it with most of my life savings. I didn't go completely broke. I saved up a lot of money because I purchased that house last year, and so since that year, I've saved up a decent amount of money again. But yeah, that's what it was. Good seeing you live, Pro. Would you play Mafia 3? Yeah, I'm gonna play the Mafia games later this year. Thank you, Rowan. Thanks for that love, man. Also, did you hear about Hawaii? I did. The fires in Hawaii. It's just really horrible right now. Get over this drop here. But I can give you a few tips, though, Imperialist, about, rental properties. Buy newer houses, because, yes, you're going to spend more money, but if you buy a newer house, you are going to, have a lot less issues if you buy a new house. One thing that I'll say is that, one mistake that landlords make, and this is a really bad mistake, and never ever, if you're ever a landlord, never ever make this mistake, because a lot of people make this mistake, and that is that they include utilities. Don't ever do that. If you are the landlord, never pay for your tenants' utilities. Don't include that in the lease. Tell your tenants that they are responsible for the utilities. The reason you don't want to do that, it's not about being cheap, it's not about being greedy. It has nothing to do with that. The reason that you don't want to pay for your tenants' utilities is because, think about it this way. If something is free, if somebody's not paying for something, well, I guess it's in their rent, so you can't make, you could say it's not completely free, but they don't get charged based on the amount they use. So they can use as much as they want. If you're paying for their utilities, they can use as much as they want. The reason you never want to pay for their utilities when you're a landlord is because what's going to happen is, if people know they're not paying for the electricity, you're paying for the electricity, they are going to abuse that. They're going to, have all the lights on at their house at all time. They're going to go to work. They're going to leave all the lights on in the house. Their bulbs are going to go out, and then they're going to blame you, and they're going to tell you to come over here. Your bills are going to, go through the roof. It's going to get ridiculous. If you want to be nice, as a landlord, pay for their gardening, pay for their landscaping. Hire somebody to mow the lawn for the rental property. That's a nice thing that you can do as a landlord. You know, have their snow removed, pay for a snow removal, but don't pay for their utilities like the electricity, the gas, and the water, because I'm telling you, people will abuse that. They'll leave, you know, electricity on. You know, they'll turn on the heat to like 75 degrees in the winter, and they'll leave it on, you know, all day. Even when they're, you know, away, even if they're on a road trip or something like that, they'll leave it on. And so that's you know, people will do that. They'll abuse that. So that's what I'll say about that. I live in a rental property myself, so even though I'm a landlord, I actually live in an apartment that I rent. And I like the apartment. I don't really need a house. You know, I don't need a lot of space. But the apartment that I rent, what happens is with the apartment that I rent, I don't pay for gas, water, electricity. It's actually included in the rent. And so me, I don't abuse that. However, though, sometimes I look at it and, like, you know, sometimes I leave all the lights on. Like, in my apartment, I'll have the lights on in the bedroom, in, like, the living room, in the kitchen, and stuff like that as I'm walking around my apartment. So it's like even me, like, I try not to abuse that stuff, but I look at it sometimes, too. You know, that's, you know, I'll leave the air conditioner on when I'm traveling, too. So sometimes. So that's, so yeah, so that's what I'll say about it, is, you know, don't pay for the utilities. Yeah, I actually told that story earlier, Lendon. My landlord doesn't charge me for utilities except for electricity. I try to be mindful about it, though. I tend not to realize it, but I never intentionally try to abuse it. Well, and that's the thing about that, Crest. You're a good person. But what I was saying is that when people realize that something is free, they are, you know, they're going to abuse it. They are. Your landlord's gonna see this and make you pay utilities. Well, you know, I live in my landlord is a giant corporation. That's what it is. So, you know, I live in a very big apartment building. Like, it's a giant company that owns this building. But basically, what I'll say about this is I have managed to get a discount, you know, on my rent. You know, every year I get a discount on my rent. And the reason I get a discount on my rent is because I visit my family for like 2 to 3 months in New York. And in that time, I turn off all the electricity and stuff like that, and I tell them I don't use that stuff. But what happened was, you know, the last time when I was doing like when I was renewing my lease, I told them that I travel a lot and so I don't use these utilities. They told me that they're not doing that deal for me anymore. And so they were just giving me basically the standard rate that everybody else was getting. And so at that point, I basically, you know, I was like, you know what, you know, screw this. Like, you know, when I'm traveling, I'm just gonna leave the air conditioner on. So that was it. It's not to spite like my landlord or anything like that, but it's like the last time that I didn't turn on the air conditioner and I came back in the summer like a year ago, you know, it was like 90 degrees in like my apartment. It was disgusting. Like it was horrible. Like I actually had to go down to like the lounge and like relax there. It's like the air conditioner cooled up the apartment because I just couldn't take it. And so this time I just decided to just leave the air conditioner on for like, you know, a month or two after I'm going, just so that you know, when I come back at least the apartment is cool. So that's okay. Okay, let's go here. Wait, what do you mean, Blinded Eagle? Oh, 85 degrees is... No, I wouldn't be able to take 85 degrees. By the way, guys, for anyone wondering earlier, it is my idea to have a giveaway for Spider-Man 2, but it was Pro's idea for him to help me on my channel. Okay, Blinded Eagle, I hope it helps you out. I'll definitely recommend your channel when you do that giveaway. Thanks, man, for the super chat. And thank you, Mario. Did you hear about that autistic girl who got violently arrested in the... Oh, well, I did not hear anything about that. I would have to look into that story. Okay. Oh, well, actually, where I live, it's actually getting to like 50 degrees at night now, which I actually like. So I hope it gets colder soon. And that's good, Crest, but that's what I'll say is, no, that's what I'll say is, though, as a landlord, though, don't ever pay for utilities, because, like I said, though, you're a good person, Crest, but it's just people, a lot of people, other people will abuse that, unfortunately, though. Hi, Pro. I was also pursuing crime investigation related degree, but dropped the idea as India doesn't have detectives and police, and the CBI investigators paid very less with very little respect. Wait, India doesn't have detectives? Can you explain what you mean to me by that, Proddy? Is that 1 million Steam game is now $200? Oh, well, that's still way too much. Blinded Eagle. Yes, I know who Vlad the Impaler was. What's the meaning of the name John Doe? John Doe basically means somebody who's identified. They don't know who his name is. I could play the Infamous games one day, Dark Soul, yeah. Okay, I'll see you, little. Take care, man. Are we selling another business? Do we have to still sell anything else? Oh, like moonshine. Yeah, you're probably thinking of John Doe from the Twisted Metal TV show. I want to watch that. Favorite PS2 era games from your childhood? I would say the GTA games.
Hey there, I'm your boss's partner.
Thank you, Eclipse Nova. Wait, what, JM? What's causing all the fires right now that's going on in Hawaii? What's causing that? What would your policy be to prevent wildfires? Honestly, I don't know, because I'm not knowledgeable in that. Punch made dev, he's a rapper, scammer, and made a rap video on how to do wire fraud without getting caught. YouTube has removed it, but people keep reposting. No, I've not heard about that. Bro, opinion on scammers? Horrible human beings, horrible people. I would say a lot of them are evil too. Like that, I mean, investigation in India is done by police officers who don't necessarily have any degree. Nearest to detective in India is the IPS, but is more on management staff and little to no investigation. Though, let me ask you something, Proddy. You live in India, right? That's oh wait. Okay, here. Dry brush. Oh, okay. Pull over here. It's really horrible what's going on in Hawaii. Hawaii is never a place that I thought would have, like, you know, massive fires like that. but it's just really horrible what's going on right now. I know who John Cena is. It's going good, Sect. But Prati, you live in India, right? Well, let me ask you something. Oh wait. Well, let me ask you something, Prati. Because you mentioned that you're interested in law enforcement and you were interested in becoming a detective. You told me before India doesn't have detectives. I didn't know that. But let me ask you something. What do you think about like the Indian police, for example, like not raiding these call centers, like the scammers? Like, how the scam problem has basically gotten out of control. Like, what do you think about that? Like, what's your opinion on the Indian police? Like, do you think that it's corruption? Do you think that it's incompetence? Do you think they don't have enough resources? Like, what do you think, like, is the reason that, like, a lot of times they don't do anything about, like, the call centers? Can we try the new Cayo Perico on Sunday? Sure, we could. Oh, okay, gonna make a turn here. Ah, damn. Sorry about hitting the tree. It's crazy to think YouTubers make a better job exposing, the scammers. Well, like, and the thing about this is I blame the U.S. government, too, because I think the U.S. government has responsibility for this as well, for these scammers, because the U.S. government should do something about these, scam centers, they should also, like, reach out to those countries where a lot of them are going on. They should try to do something about it. But, Prati, did you hear what I said? Like, what's your opinion on that? Because, I'm sorry that I destroyed 2 bottles. It was an accident, guys. But what I'll say about that is, I guess I'll just wait for Prati to respond, and I'll just see what he says here. Did I hear about Illinois banning assault-style guns, and it was influenced by the... Well, I will answer your point in a little bit, Blinded Eagle, here. But I was just really curious because Prati was somebody who was interested in law enforcement, and he lived in India, so I was just, curious what his opinion was on the, YouTube should do something about the scammers, I agree. Let's see here. Are we doing anything else over here? Wait, what, Viking? What are you talking about? Oh. I guess he might not be on the stream anymore there. He's taking a little bit of time to respond here. But yeah, basically what I was saying is that there are good, what am I streaming tomorrow? I don't know if I'll get around to stream something, but if I don't get to stream something tomorrow, I will stream something I'm gonna stream on Sunday GTA, and then Monday maybe I'll stream a different game. Maybe I'll stream Saboteur again. But basically, Prati, if you're hearing me here still, thoughts, on, well, let me go to my, I'm gonna leave the posse here and then go to mine here. Oh, the posse's already disbanded. Okay.
Who do you think you're gonna...
Ultimately, at the end of the day, like I said, guys, it is just incompetence. It's not just, oh, he just did? Did he? Did I miss Prati's comment? Prati, let's see here. I don't see his comment. Oh, you have responded? Wait, did you make a response to what I was asking you earlier? I don't know if I see a big response on that. Did you hear what I asked you earlier, though? Pradi? If I'm saying your name correctly, I'm sorry. If I'm saying your name incorrectly. Wait, what's wrong, Lemmy? British police are incompetent as well. I agree. But I would say that they're incompetent in a different way. What the British police is, oh, he didn't hear me. Wait, he typed it? What? I didn't see it.
We can sell it when you like.
Yes, Pearl, write it again for you. Okay, and let me know when you post it. Can you post the second comment and just post it again? Because I didn't see it. Can you do a Shane impression and say, let me ask you something? Let me ask you something. That's, or, let me tell you something. That's the way Shane, okay. We formed the posse. Yes, I will answer Blinded Eagle's question. I will in just one moment. I'm just gonna answer. I want to just hear what Pradi has to say first about that that question that I had for him, and then I'll answer Blinded Eagle's question. Been watching since you were below 50,000 subs. Hope you're doing good, man. Thank you, Lo. Thank you, Lo, man.
Oh la vache! Jésus, Marie, Joseph.
Hey, Shuey, how are you, man?
Forgive me, but perhaps you have not seen the prices for our ingredients. We need a...
Let's sell this here. Bert Higgins? Why can't I ever find, like, a good seller? I can never find a good seller. I know, Reese. Okay. Prodi, did you make the comment again? I don't see it here. Let me look on my, he typed again? He did? Okay, wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. Let me... He did respond. It's near a super chat by, JM. Let me see. Oh, okay. I mean, investigation in India is done by police officers who don't necessarily have any degree. Nearest a detective in India. Oh, but that was about the, okay. Well, I see the comment there. Okay. You did it again. Okay. Okay. But like Pradi, for somebody who's like interested in like law enforcement in India, would you say that the police, for example, in India, that like, because like a lot of these scams that like the Indian police, they just don't care as much, like if the scammers are like targeting people outside of India, that like the Indian police just aren't quick to respond to that, and oftentimes they just don't care about stuff like that, because that's really the main, that's in my opinion, that's really the main reason on why there's on why, you know, some countries like, you know, for example, Nigeria and India, why there is Nigeria and India, the reason these countries have like a lot of scams and these scam centers and stuff like that is because the police in those countries really don't go after the scammers. They don't really bother with that. And I personally think that's like a bad way to, like, you know, it's not a good way to run law enforcement. It's like, it's very bad law enforcement procedure to do stuff like that. But yeah, do you usually have to furnish your property before renting? What, you mean, like, you mean put furniture? No. What I do is I do a steam cleaning. I make sure the house is very clean, everything's neat and organized for the tenants when they move in, but I don't provide any furniture. Because Prodi, one of my friends who actually lives in India, right, he sent me an article the other day. And the article that he sent me this article about this police officer who, in India, who was complaining that his department, that the people that were running his department, that they knew where the scam call centers were, and that they weren't doing anything about it, that they weren't going to arrest them, they were just not doing anything about them. And he actually took them to court over it. He did. And for me, that's a really good cop. And I really hope he wins that case. I just really hope the guy doesn't get fired. But will we make a video on Rockstar buying 5M? Probably tomorrow, Caleb. I will, yes. Let me see here. But would you agree with me there, Prodi? Thank you, Imperialist, for that super chat. And let me answer Blinded Eagle's question now. I told him I'd answer that. You know, in my personal opinion is, you know, I don't really want to start arguments, but what I will say about that is, I don't really think guns are the problem. I don't really think so, because it's that where I live in the Midwest, it's like people carry guns here all the time. They're very common. It's very different than New York. Like people, you know, are able to, you know, carry here, unlike New York. And so I've seen it. I've gone to gas stations where I see gas station attendants. They have a, you know, handgun on their hip. You know, I've seen, like, you know, people carrying before. But the thing about this is the place that I live in, it has like virtually little to no shootings. There's like no gun violence here. Like none of that stuff happens. And so that leads me to believe that the gun violence, the violence itself is because of something else. It's not because of the guns. It's more because of just, I would say it's mental health and like gangs, and I would just say it's a combination of factors. But I would say that's my personal opinion. I don't want to argue with anybody, but I would just say my personal viewpoint is I just don't blame the guns for it. I think it's mental health, and I think it's I think that it's gangs and criminals. That's pretty much my thoughts on it. Like, if you looked at, like, the south side of Chicago, for example, like, Chicago, I think, would still have just as much violence if it didn't have guns. So it would have just as much violence. That's my view on it. Because making the guns go away is not going to make the gangs go away. That's what people don't understand. And I think a lot of people are very naive for thinking that. They think that if all the guns disappear, that all the violence is going to automatically disappear, but it's not. Let's see here. Are you a criminal? No. Do you listen to Joe Rogan? I've seen a few of his podcasts before. I don't listen to him, you know, but I've seen a few of it before. Did Prodi post again? Thank you, Nate, for the super chat. Prodi, you still here, man? Yeah, I would agree with you on that, Viking. No, Lendon. Hey, bro, I'm a woodworker in Nashville, Tennessee. Would love to send you a custom butcher block. How can I contact with you on where to ship it? Thank you, Nate. Thank you for the super chats. I'm sorry though. I don't know what's a custom butcher block. I really appreciate it. I just don't know what that is. But send me an email on my About Me page. On my About Me page, I have an email. Just send me an email there. Yeah, I mean, I would agree with you on that. I would agree with you on that, Mario. I mean, it's just my view on it. I just don't think that I don't think the firearms are to blame. I think it's other stuff, because like if the guns were to to be blamed for this this level of violence, then like why is the place that I live in the Midwest, it's very, like, you know, peaceful. We don't have, like, you know, the gun violence that, like, happens in places like Chicago, for example. And people here own guns in much higher numbers, much higher numbers than, like, people in Chicago. And so we don't have that same level of violence. And a lot of people will say, oh, because Chicago has more people, that's why it has more gun violence. But if you look at, you know, for example, like Chicago and, like, the Midwest, not based on the population, but you just look at it on the rate of gun violence, the rate on gun violence is still way higher in a place like Chicago. So that's, Okay, let's go to the ranch here. Oh, I guess, Proddy, are you still here, man? Stop what, JD? What? Well, Mario, don't bring politics into it. I don't want to have, you know, I stay away from politics. Yeah, I'm happy to give my opinions on firearms, but I'm not gonna, like, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, get into politics though. I'm gonna stay away from that. Recently got a PS5. Would love to play with you sometime. I don't know why you ain't able to read my messages, Pro. Maybe some glitch. Oh, yeah, it might be a glitch because I don't see a lot of your messages, Proddy. Let me scroll up. Does anybody else see Proddy's messages there? Proddy Uman, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Do you guys see, did he post any recent messages? Because I don't see his other message. Breaking Bad or The Sopranos? Thank you, Glorious One. I would say Sopranos because I haven't watched Breaking Bad. I get it, Mario, but no, JM doesn't see them either. Well, Proddy, why don't you tell me what your PSN is, and I can try to, you know, add you, you know, when I have the time. If you do play on PlayStation, that is, But did you agree with what I was saying, Proddy, before? Oh, great. Ah, damn, didn't want to fall off here. Oh, it's on my About Me page, Nate. Thank you for the super chat. Did I ring up gang members in retail? I don't know, because people don't really announce that they're in a gang unless they're trying to rob you. So I don't know. I have seen gangsters in real life, though. I've seen them, and I knew they were gangsters because it was one of the neighborhood that I grew up in Queens, in New York, was actually controlled by the Genovese crime family. If anybody knows them. The Genovese crime family had a huge influence in my neighborhood, and they had several stores that were fronts. Like, everybody in the neighborhood knew that was a mafia store. Like, everybody knew. So it was everybody in the neighborhood knew what businesses the mafia had controlled. The thing the thing is, I've seen some of those, like, you know, street gangsters. I don't think they were like made men. But I've seen, like, some of those street gangsters, like, a long time ago, and just like in the movies, they wear tracksuits. Yes, so it's just like you see in the movies. You know, typically, I've seen people in tracksuits like that hang around those stores. And so that's, But I'll tell you something about the mafia, though. Even though the Genovese family are scum, you know, I'm not defending them, don't get me wrong. Even though the Genovese family had a pretty, you know, strong presence in the neighborhood that I lived in, nobody was scared. even though the mafia had a pretty strong presence there. I was never scared. Nobody else was scared. My parents weren't scared. Nobody was really scared. And the reason that nobody was really scared is because the mafia didn't jump people. Like, if you were walking late at night, the mafia wasn't gonna jump you and like rob you. Like that's like chump change for them. Like that's like nothing. Like, you know, they're going after like the bigger things. So, you know, you didn't have to worry about getting jumped at night. You know, it wasn't like, you know, it was like a, you know, a street gang that would just rob you. That didn't really happen, but that was what I was saying, is that, like, you know, like if you compare like the Italian mafia, for example, if you compare the Italian mafia to the cartel, or MS-13, for example, the Italian mafia are like saints, like angels compared to them. So that's why I say there's much worse people in the mafia. The only other gang that I've ever seen in real life is besides the Genovese, you know, I've seen Genovese associates on the streets. The only other gang that I've ever seen in real life is I've seen Hell's Angels, you know, the biker gang. I seen them once. I was in a diner in New Jersey a few years ago, and, you know, there was a bunch of them that came in and were eating there. You know, they weren't causing a problem or anything, but you saw the jackets on them too. So that's Modern Warfare 3, yeah, I'll stream it on launch day. Probably. And I'll do the,
You signed your life away, you know.
Did you crap your pants when you saw them? No, I mean, like I knew that they were gangsters, but I wasn't really scared because the bikers, you know, the Hell's Angels are actually much worse people than the Mafia. They're actually much more dangerous than the Mafia and much worse. You know, they are actually likely to jump you. They are likely to rob you and jump you. But the thing about that is that I wasn't really scared, even though it was an outlaw motorcycle gang, because they just came in to eat. You know, it was a bunch of them that just came in to eat, and, you know, they're not gonna come into the diner to rob it if they're already sitting down and eating, and they're not wearing masks. So I'd be more concerned if they came in with masks. But though it would be pretty stupid if they came in with masks and they had the Hell's Angels jackets on them. Yeah, that would be stupid. That would get them caught really quick. Pro, what's worse? Hell's Angels, yeah. Well, Angels of Death are based on Hell's Angels. Yeah, it's what is it? What's worse, a gang or a mafia? I would say that a gang, because gangs typically target innocent people all the time. Mafias do target innocent people, don't get me wrong, but, like, gangs are, like, you know, if I would rather live in a mafia neighborhood than a gang neighborhood, I'm telling you that right now. Because if you live in a gang neighborhood, the gang neighborhood is going to be swarming with, like, drugs, you know, prostitutes, the gangsters are going to jump you on the streets. You know, mafia neighborhood, you wouldn't really have to fear much, unless you own a business. If you own a business, then you're going to be scared in a mafia neighborhood. Then it's going to be bad for you if you own a business in the mafia neighborhood. But if you're just, like, you know, working class person in a mafia neighborhood, that's much better to live than a gang neighborhood, honestly. Let's see here. Mafia sink their claws in the city. Oh yeah, it's corruption. That's what it is. But like I said, like, the Mafia aren't really gonna jump innocent people on the streets. Like, they're not gonna rob you and, like, give me your money. You know, it's not like that, because that's chump change for them. That's like nothing. Gangs are gonna do that to you. You know, the Mafia is gonna go after businesses. They're gonna extort businesses. That's typically, you know, they're going after the bigger things. What groups are worse, cartels or raiders? Well, what do you mean by raiders? I would say the most dangerous organized crime in the world is the cartel. I don't think a lot of people think the Sicilian Mafia is the strongest criminal organization in the world, but it's not. I would say that it's the cartels. The cartels are much stronger, and the cartels are worse. Now, the thing about that is that the cartels and the Mafia are both rich. However, though, the difference between the Mafia and the cartels is that even though both of them are rich, Both of them are organized. Both of them are typically pretty well armed. The difference between them is that the Mafia does things in secret. The Mafia does their killings in secret. The Cartel doesn't do their killings in secret. When the Mafia kills somebody, the person will just vanish. You'll never hear of them again. You won't see a body. They'll just vanish. The Cartels, on the other hand, when they kill somebody, their body's gonna be left in pieces. And it's gonna be in public too. The Cartel is proud of that. Like they'll dump bodies in the middle of the public just to scare people. Like they'll do stuff like that. So that's why I say the Mafia is, the Cartel is much worse than the Mafia. They're much worse. You know, the Cartel is just, you know, it's just, yeah. Honestly, if I could choose which organization can I make disappear forever, I'd choose the Cartels. Because yes, Mafia are bad too. Don't get me wrong. But it's that the Cartels just cause so much more, you know, problems and they do so much more horrific things than the Mafia. I would say that the Cartels, if I could choose to get rid of one forever, it would be the Cartels. That's it, because they're just such horrible human beings. Raiders are terrorists? Oh, so you're asking me who's worse, the Cartels or terrorists? Well, you might actually argue that the Cartels are terrorists. Like I could actually see people making that argument, because what a terrorist basically is attacking somebody for a political motive. That's what it is. When you kill people and attack people for a political reason, you're a terrorist. That's what a terrorist is. And the Cartels want to be the governments in like places like Mexico. Like they want to be the rulers. And so I would say that you could make the argument that Cartels are terrorists in a way because of the fact that they are trying to become the rulers of the area that they control. They're trying to become the government. Oh yeah, the CIA supported the Cartels in the past. It was they definitely did that. I'm sorry I didn't answer the questions earlier here. Oh, let me look. Prodi, are you still here? I'm sorry I didn't see your PSN earlier. Man, I'm sorry. I was just getting carried away with some of my stories. I'm sorry. When I start talking about some of my stories, I can really talk a lot, so I'm sorry about that. No, I don't see it, Prodi. Hey, Pro, could you give me a shout out to my online friend, I'm Shy31, GG Allen, and Valuable Arctic, surprising them tomorrow in online session. Also, what are your thoughts on the Red Dead Redemption remaster? It's Red Dead Redemption remaster is just nonsense and stupid. Don't buy it. If you want to see how the Red Dead Redemption remaster looks, look at my channel. I'm gonna do a comparison video when it comes out. Thank you for that super chat, by the way, Golden. I do really appreciate it. Thank you, man. I just want to play Red Dead Redemption on PC. Is that too much to ask? Well, the thing about that is that I think the Nintendo Switch is an emulator. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's on PC, so you might be able to play the Red Dead Redemption version on PC, technically, if that counts. Prodi, you still here, man? Did I miss your comment? I'm sorry if I did. You can already play Red Dead Redemption on PC using Xenia. What's that? No, DJ, my parents weren't. And my parents are, you know, no. I seen Red Dead Redemption 1 $50 PS port videos and seen the Boondocks clip, and I want to know, what is your favorite episode of it? Thanks. My favorite episode of the Boondocks is it's the one in season 1. My favorite episode is I think it's the I forget what the name of it is called. It's an early episode of the Boondocks. It's the Xbox killer one. That's the one where like Tom is framed and accused of being the Xbox killer when he looks nothing like the Xbox killer. And what happens is they you know, Huey and Riley get Ed and Rummy to help them find the Xbox killer, and then instead they stop at that gas station and they get into that, you know, massive shootout at the gas station. That's my favorite episode of the Boondocks. I forget what that one is called. Are you into aviation history? Somewhat, yeah. I mean, I'm into all type of history. A Date with the Health Inspector. Oh, that's it. Okay. Stinkmeaner or Uncle Ruckus? I would say that, who's a worser person? Stinkmeaner or Uncle Ruckus? I would say Stinkmeaner is a worser person, because Uncle Ruckus is a messed up person. He's very racist. But the thing about Uncle Ruckus is Uncle Ruckus grew up in a really, you know, terrible household. It was very abusive, a terrible environment that he grew up in. It's no excuse, obviously, for his behavior, but the thing about that is that Uncle Ruckus, you know, there's times in the show when he's not, like, bad. He's done some good things, but, like, Stinkmeaner, on the other hand, he has just done nothing but just bad things. Just horrible, evil things. Like, there's not one good thing that Stinkmeaner did in the Boondocks. So I would say, yeah, I would say that Stinkmeaner's worse than Uncle Ruckus. Hey, yeah, let's see here. Let me see here if I could find, here, I think I missed a bunch of comments. I'm just scrolling through right now. Proddy's still here? I guess he might have left, because I never saw his PSN. Did you guys see Proddy's PSN? Because I never saw his PSN. I've been trying to scroll through. I don't think I've seen it. Oh, hey Angelo, how are you, man? Okay. Is $50 outrageous? Yes. Tommy Versetti, remember the name. Yep, I remember that he does that in the first protection racket mission when he goes to the mall. He does that. I remember it too. Yeah, but it's gonna be like a small Easter egg, but I'll cover it when it happens in Halloween Echo. See where we're gonna go here. Go to Strawberry. I don't know, Lyndon. LEGO is going to release a Concorde set to celebrate 20 years of retirement. Concorde was a supersonic airliner released in October 2003. Yes, I remember that, and the Concorde failed, didn't it? It failed. It wasn't, did you ever hear about the Soviet version of the Concorde? Like, the Soviets tried to make their own supersonic jet, and that failed, too. Oh, okay, London. Isn't Payday in the same universe as the Scarface game, too? No, I haven't, Michael. Polo 2 of 144. Don't know hype. Don't know hype. Don't know hype. Don't know hype. LFG boys. Thank you, Apple dude. Mafia 2 deserved better ratings. Shame on IGN. Mafia 2 is a great game. Hey Pro, would you consider the franchise and the 7 as gangs, and what gang type? I would consider the 7 like an organized crime syndicate. I would consider the franchise. I would consider the franchise in like a different way. They're both a syndicate too, but it's like a syndicate of assassins, where the 7 are a syndicate of mercenaries. Okay, I'll see you. I'll see you now. Now was Zeesh, if I'm reading your name correctly. No, I haven't really considered streaming on Twitch because I don't want to separate my community. What cop shows do you prefer, NYPD Blue or The Shield? Honestly, I'll tell you something. When I watch cop shows, though, I want to watch something realistic. Whoa! Oh, Shuey, $500 super chat. Thank you, man. Whoa, you gave me a $400 donation. You gave me a $400 donation the other day too. I remember that. That was thank you, man. Wow, yeah, that is one of the largest super chats that I have ever gotten in my life. Thank you, Shuey. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Wow. Thanks, man. Thank you. Guys, make sure that you give a special shout out there to Shuey. Thank you so much, Shuey. Thank you. You are awesome. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it. Thanks, man. You are awesome. Special shout out there to Shuey. Shuey2905. Thanks, man. Thank you, Shuey. You really made my day. Thanks, man. You're missing all your shots because you're shocked, yeah. Well, it's, thank you, Shuey, for that. How? And thank you, Nuck, Gaming. Thank you for the super chat too, man. I'm liking Max Payne a lot. I'm guessing I'm pretty close to the ending of Max Payne. Without spoiling it for me, am I close to the end of Max Payne, guys? Because I've never played Max Payne before. I think I'm pretty close, because I have gotten really far in the game so far. Max pretty much knows who killed his family at this point. Quick topic, Patrick. Do you think the Raider Scourge and the Fallout franchise even... Well, I mean, I don't like to compare the fictional ones to the real life, to the real life actions, but I would say that, yeah, the Imperial, you know, Imperial Japan was extremely brutal. I don't think that the brutality of Imperial Japan, for example, gets covered as much. I think it should get covered more. But it's Japan. Back in the day when Japan was an empire, they did really horrible things. Do you think that video games cause real life violence? No, not at all. Honestly, you know, I don't. I'll tell you something about this debate is you know, there's people, for example, who will blame there's people who will blame, you know, video games, and then there's people who will also blame guns. I don't think it's either one. I don't think it's, you know, games or guns. I think it's more just I think that violence in general, I think, can just be blamed on just crime, gangs, you know, mental health, you know, things like that. And I don't think that any rational person is gonna like play a video game like Grand Theft Auto and then like decide, oh, I'm gonna commit crimes in real life. This is not gonna happen. It's not. And and what's happened is have you heard about the Saudi Arabia, the Line City? Yes, I've heard about that. It's like a big line that goes through the desert, and it's like a city that's in there. It's like an inside city. I did hear about that, Shuey. I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't know, you know, my opinion on it. You know, the land in Saudi Arabia, the desert itself, for example, is not very habitable. You know, it's just very, you know, very hostile, you know, the desert there. It's a very hostile environment. So wonder what that would be like building, you know, a city. It's like something futuristic, building a city in the, that's like in a big dome, kind of, in a way, but it's a straight line. I'm not ignoring you, Nuck. What's wrong? Could I make a video about the Estonian War of Independence? I know a little bit about Estonia's history. Estonia did get Estonia was conquered by the Soviet Union. Estonia was conquered by the Soviet Union. That was 1940, I believe, when that happened. And then after World War II, Estonia was actually annexed by the Soviet Union. Estonians did not have it easy. You know, they had a pretty brutal history, just the Soviets occupying them. You know, there was you know, the Germans had occupied Estonia, and then the Soviets did. It was just not a there was just some. Yeah. Estonia had to fight for its freedom, you know, from a lot of occupiers. And Estonia is a small country that's surrounded by much larger hostile powers in its history. Like, you got Russia on one side, you have Sweden on the other side. So, you know, both of those empires had harassed Estonia several times in its history. Do you like to read? Yeah, I do. Patrick post, well, look, dude, look. Wow, I can't find this guy's target. What I'll say, look, is that I don't say on purpose. I don't do that on purpose, guys. It's just a bad habit. It's just a bad habit that's just been happening. I try not to do it. So I mean, I just did it again, but I'm trying. I've been trying to not do it.
You want to leave here? You fool! Kill him already!
Can a desert be reforested? Well, you'd have to first of all fix the soil. My Scarface playlist is missing a stream. Okay. I'll take a look at that. Thank you for telling me. Yeah, and the thing is, when I do playthroughs like Medal of Honor, I like to talk a lot of the history about what's going on in the game, too.
I'll wriggle out of this when I do.
Patrick, why do you not trust Vladimir in Max Payne 1? Because Vladimir is a Russian mob boss who you saw blow up a building beforehand. The thing is, though, is that somebody like Vladimir is not being nice to Max out of the kindness of his heart. You know, somebody like Vladimir, you have to think, like, what does he get out of this? You know, when he sends Max after the Punchinellos, for example, it's like, he's using him. It's like, what does he get out of something like that? You got to think about something like that. Somebody like that, somebody like Vladimir, when he doesn't think he's gonna need Max anymore, he's gonna get rid of Max. When he doesn't think he needs him anymore, that's why I think Vlad is gonna betray Max, because it's like, you know, somebody like that, I would not trust somebody like that. I love the Fallout games, yes. Hey, Pro, sorry, but I unsubscribed from your membership due to money saving. Sorry. It's okay, man. You don't have to apologize for that. I fully understand. You don't have to support me through channel membership for me to read your comment or hang out with me. But I always do appreciate any support. But it's okay, man. Don't worry about it. No, don't, Apple. You'll get in trouble. Thank you for the super chat. You seem tired, Pat? No, I'm just... I guess I'm a little exhausted, but I'm not, like, falling asleep or anything. It's just, I just had, like, you know, I didn't get much sleep last night because I was working on that, on that guide, last night, the Kanata review. So I was working most of the day on the Kanata review. I finished it, and then when I finished the Kanata review, I immediately started working on that money guide that I put out, and I was working on that all last night, and then I woke up and I started working on it again today. Did it serious? Did it get canceled? Let's see here. Thank you, Apple. And, Pro, have you heard about, well, what I'll say is that, Mario, thank you for the super chat, but, I don't know, this one person that just said 171. I still don't understand what the scam was with 171, like, what was wrong with it? Can somebody explain to me exactly what was wrong with 171? Like, I know Dark Space made a video about it, and I talked to him about it, but I'm just a bit confused on what was wrong with 171. Could somebody fill me in on that? But... some of those countries, like, you know, Saudi Arabia, have a really, you know, horrible human rights record. And Saudi Arabia, I think it was recently women got the right to drive, finally. Hey, Vinny, how are you, man?
What are you doing?
They used pre-made assets even though they had more than enough money to make their own. So where's the rest of the money? It's a scam, basically. Thank you, Tengu Mercenary, for the comment. Which are you better at, history or geography? Sorry, what are you better at, history or geography? I would say that I would say that I'm better at, it depends on the history. If it's certain historical events, like, I'll definitely be better at geography than, like, ancient history, but when it comes to, like, modern history, I'm pretty good at that as well. Geography, I do know pretty well, so geography, I would be able to name you a lot of the countries in the world. Do you have a favorite YouTuber? No, not really. Jimmy missed you? Jimmy who? Serious? Yeah, I know about that one. It was because Stalin was scared that they were a threat to his power, Emily. People who say that abandoning Reddit Online is good for business clearly haven't taken any business class in their life. I don't know. It launched with with nothing single player had. Yep, and it was a waste of money to abandon it too. Thoughts on the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth? Here's the thing about this: the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth was a very large, empire, but it had a very incompetent government. Like, the entire parliament was made up of aristocrats. The king really did not have that much power in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. It was mostly a bunch of aristocrats that had controlled the empire. And if, the parliament had to pretty much get a unanimous vote of aristocrats whenever they were trying to pass a bill. So one guy could pretty much hold up an entire vote, which that's how stupid the parliament was in the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. How did I get a bounty? Yeah, I don't know why they did that, Mario. I don't know why the United Nations would think it's a good idea to put Saudi Arabia or Iran on the Human Rights Council. That's stupid. Thank you for that super chat. Hey, Pro, I've been watching your cosplay videos so much that this is well-deserved for your efforts. Thank you, Trophy.
What's the matter with you?
Thank you, man, for the super chat. Have you ever gotten recognized in public? It was the same who robbed the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth monarchs of their rightful authority. Well, I would say, Javier, that I would say that both of them were the problem. The aristocrats and the monarchy was the problem. Like, if you look at a country like France, for example, the French got really pissed off at their king and their aristocracy, and they got rid of them in a revolution. Poland was going to do that too. Poland was going to get rid of their king and their aristocrats in a revolution. But what basically happened was the Russians had invaded. Now I know that not every aristocrat was like a scumbag, but a huge amount of them were. They were really bad people who took advantage of the country and took advantage of the poor. So, I mean, there's a reason that during the French Revolution, the French got so pissed off at the aristocrats. There's a reason for that. Okay, serious. And have I been recognized in public? I've been recognized in public twice. I have been, the 2 times I've been recognized in public, I got recognized in a bank once. I remember I was opening up a savings account just a few years ago, and the bank teller at the bank, he basically said to me that my voice sounds familiar. And I said to him, you know, how does my voice sound familiar? And he said, do you do YouTube? And I said, yeah, you watch my channel? He's like, oh yeah, you're the GTA Money Guide guy. He's like, I watch your videos. That's what he says to me. And then what was it? I got recognized at a store once. So at a Best Buy, I got recognized. Or I asked the guy, do you know where your printers are? And he's like, yeah, the printers are over here. And so he took me over to one section, showed me the printers. He's like, are you the professional? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, that's really cool, but I do have to get back to work. And I said, okay, that's fine. But
This job gets easier the farther away you are.
I saw your face. No need for the mask. I ain't in the mood to repeat myself.
Hey? What are you looking for? So nothing.
what's your opinion about French Polynesia? I don't know really much about it. Modern Warfare 3 costing $36? That's like a very weird number. Where are you getting that number from? Let's do some poker. Nicki Minaj takes out Makarov in the new Modern Warfare 3. What? You know, the thing about Modern Warfare 3, what I'll tell you guys about Modern Warfare 3 is when it comes to that game, I'm not even looking forward to the multiplayer, the co-op that much. I'm looking forward to the single player. I want a good single player story. That's what I care about the most in Modern Warfare 3. And I really hope they don't mess it up. I've seen a tiny bit of it, Mr. Green. Let me look, London. Patrick, when you finish Enemy Front, do you think Hawkins is going to end up having to escape Poland? Probably. We're going to have to see, because we know how the Warsaw Uprising ends. The Warsaw Uprising ends in the defeat for the Polish resistance. So we're going to have to see how the game ends. Well, I would be willing to play Zombies mode in the new Call of Duties. How would you feel for a GTA 4 port? Well, if the GTA 4 port had PC graphics, and it was like, you know, $30, $20, I'd be fine with buying it. I had to go to a new session because if you try to find a, poker match in a private session, it glitches out for some reason. The Sniper Elite zombie games? Oh, I would play those one day, yeah. In the words of Miles in Spider-Man 2, you know, if you need me, I'm just a call away. When they brought the webbed slingshot into the game from the Toby era. Oh, they did. Yeah, I think that the you know those I loved Spider-Man 1, 2, and 3 when it came out, but I was not into most of the superhero stuff today. Yeah, I did an entire series on Hitman, and in 4 days we're gonna have a Hitman freelancer video. I know the movie, Zach. I've never seen it though. I'm not ignoring your messages, Keyblade. There's just a lot of people that are posting. What's your question? Yeah, I would play the Sniper Elite zombie games. Yeah, I'd be down for that. Oh, definitely Stalin, London. Eight and a king, okay. Would you classify George Zhukov as an evil person, Patrick? No. Because Zhukov helped Khrushchev arrest the people in Stalin's cabinet who were responsible for horrible atrocities. And so he helped clean up the Soviet Union of, like, some of the really evil men in the government. Zhukov helped get rid of them.
Tell me you're not one of them.
But I don't have it for Xbox One, though. I have it for PlayStation, Zach. I'm folding. Okay, I'll see you, Thomas. What's your PSN, Keyblade? What's wrong, Gordo? Okay, Keyblade. I think No Russian will be in it, yes. Just don't know whether you're going to be playable as the characters in No Russian, but it'll be there. Damn, these are... You're gonna play Starfield? I'll consider it, yeah. Damn, not even one matching card. He beat me just by having better cards there. Not even a pair. I think I will, Mystical. Are you religious? I consider myself more of an agnostic. Usually I end the streams after the poker match, should we? Are you good at blackjack? I'm okay, but it's more about, I would say luck on what cards you get. Damn, nothing again. No matching cards. Do you gamble in real life? No, I don't. Come on. Dream GTA Online Michael DLC. If Rockstar would make one, it'll probably be something involved with the movie theater business. Yeah. Thank you, Sonic, and thank you, Barna. Play Starfield. Yeah, I'm thinking about playing it. Ah, damn. Do I ever play Warzone? I do play DMZ a lot, yeah. Luis Lopez? Maybe. We'll have to see. I'm thinking about making a video on, like, the characters that I think will come back in the next GTA game. Oh, seriously, not even one pair again. Getting bad luck. What was the hardest game you ever played? Hardest game I ever played? Killzone 2 in Elite difficulty, probably. Or World at War on Veteran. The grenades on World at War Veteran, they were horrible. Yes, I will, Zach. I'll do it one day. I'm really curious what the final DLC for GTA will be, Jorge. Damn, I don't... This guy might have a flush. Oh, come on. Not even one pair. Oh. Let's try this. Oh, he's going in for it too. Oh my god, this guy's getting such good cards, and it's like literally I can't even get one pair on me. Oh, damn. I played the Division 2, but I didn't get much into it. Yeah, those are random players. Okay. Please give me a pair for once, please. I'll message you later, Keyblade. All right, I have to play the new Saints Row DLC. I completely forgot about that. Yes, I'll do a video about tomorrow, actually. Yeah, the new DLC I heard is that LARPing stuff again. It's the last DLC. It's the final one. There's not going to be any more. Is it the final one, Bunny? Which psychopath is the worst? Which psychopath is the worst? Indifferent, opportunist, warmonger, raider, sadist, warmonger, because they're going to start wars and get so many people, kill so many people. Okay, that... Finally, I'm taking this. Okay. Well, Murder Circus DLC. I think I'll cover that too, yeah. Oh, thank you, Samuel, for sponsoring my channel. Thanks, man. There's 2 8s. My favorite cosplay I've done, Aiden Pierce. Do you like jazz? I'll listen to all kinds of music. Oh, Prodi, you're back. Oh, okay. Oh, I have a pair. Finally, I got a pair. Okay. Hey, Pro, I'm sorry I'm late. How are you? I'm just done watching, season of The Walking Dead, and I'm traumatized. It's my first time watching this show. Is Negan a psychopath? No, Negan is not a psychopath in The Walking Dead. Do you know who's a psychopath in The Walking Dead? The Governor. The Governor is a psychopath, not Negan. The difference between Negan and the Governor in The Walking Dead is Negan is a bad person, the Governor is evil. That's the difference. I should have bet more money. Is Yusuf richer than Amir richer than Donald Love? I don't think so. I think that Donald Love is actually richer than Yusuf because Donald Love has several businesses across the country in GTA, and he has he owns Donald Love Radio, He has, several websites. He has, those big business centers that he owns. I think Donald Love is richer than Yusuf Amir, actually. Wait, but I thought psychopaths don't have feelings or love, and he does for his daughter. I mean, I guess, in a way, he loves his daughter, but the thing about that is that the governor is just a sick person. There's just, it's just, there's nothing but just pure evil from him. He doesn't care about anyone, really. No one. Like, I mean, look at how he murdered his people, even. Oh, is your question, Roan? Well, yeah, that's what I'll say about Donald Love, is I think he's probably, richer than Yusuf Amir.
I trust everything is well.
Not good at all, I'm afraid.
Garrett from Terminus? In a way, maybe, yeah. I have really good cards, but I need a pair.
Worse and worse.
Damn, it's still no. Hopefully one of them folds here. Okay, I got one of them to fold. Damn, this is gonna be really risky here. I really hope he doesn't have a pair. Please don't have a pair. Please don't have a pair. Ah. Oh, man.
Oh, God.
Oh, that sucked. How many years of grinding did it take to get where you are? What do you mean, though, Shuey? Like, you mean for Red Dead? Yeah, I think I'm gonna probably leave the game here. Did terrible in that poker match.
Look who it is. Like seeing a
The
car
jackhammer shotgun. It's the most annoying. Oh, been here since 2017, Shuey. Well, I mean, that's when my channel first started growing. Yeah, so I started growing after gun running. Gun running is the DLC that made my channel. It was gun running. I'll keep an eye out for those shotguns. I thought it was stupid that they killed Avery Carrington off, and the reason that Rockstar killed Avery Carrington is because they got into an argument with Burt Reynolds, who's the voice actor. I guess I can't shoot out that light. I do like how it flickers after you shoot it, though. Not really, because Shane did still love Lori and cared about Carl, but... Yeah, I mean, if the story was actually decent, I wouldn't have been as, you know, frustrated with that, but the characters are really what did it, the cringe of the characters, you know. What's the point of the last GTA update? I don't know, we're gonna have to see, though, we're gonna have to see, you know, what the December DLC is gonna be like. Peace and prosperity be damned, brother Jimmy. Thank you, Sirius. Well, I know that that's, that is from, The Lost and Damned. I do remember that. And I mean, the thing about this is, look at this. There was just so many mansions in Saint Denis. And remember back in the day, when we used to believe these mansions were going to be purchasable, we actually thought we were going to be able to purchase these mansions. We really did believe that back in the day. And, yep, we never got them. I know he's much better now, Apple dude. Thank you for the super chat. Well, I guess that works too. Wish we could have been able to purchase houses like this. Wouldn't that have been cool if we could do that? Unfortunately, we weren't able to. It sucked. There's a collectible in this house. I think it's in the backyard. Oh, okay, the professional. I'm going to go. It was fun on the stream, and I hope you have a good rest of the day. Thank you, Shuey. And thank you again for that massive super chat earlier. I do really appreciate it. There's a special shout out there to Shuey. Thanks, man. I do appreciate it, man. Take care, man. Oh, Proddy, let me look here. Oh, I see it now, Proddy. Okay, I see it. Okay, I see your name. I see your, Yeah, it was one of the largest super chats that I've ever, gotten. Nope, no worries. It was my pleasure, Pat. Well, thank you, Shuey. Thanks, man, for the super chat. I do really appreciate it. I'll see you then. Take care, Shuey. I did, Proddy. I did see it. I'll message you later or tomorrow. And Shuey, are you on PlayStation also, man? Yeah, good night, Shuey. Take care, man. What's your PSN, Shuey? Let me know what it is. Vandalism. Oh, I guess got charged with vandalism by shooting out streetlights. Well, you can do stream when I grow old at like 40. Yeah, probably. I'll still stream whatever age I'm at because I like these games. Okay, I'll keep that in mind, Zach. Thank you for telling me. Is there any tactic specifically to deal with those annoying shotguns that you're telling me about? Still wanted, Oh, what the? I was literally gonna go up to you and wave, but I get shot instead. How did you first react to the Leone shotguns? I thought my game was glitched, that's why I kept blowing up. Yeah, I was literally, that's all I was gonna do, was I was just gonna wave. There's some error related to payment and super chats. How to check what the problem is that it's preventing me from sending you a super chat. I like to show support to genuine creators, especially you. I'm not sure on that, Prodi. I'm not sure what the error could be. I would Google it, the specific error that you're getting, though. Sorry, guys. I'll message you also, probably tomorrow, Shuey. I did. Thank you, Shuey, and take care. And again, special shout out there to Shuey for that $500 super chat earlier. Thank you, man. I do really appreciate that. I think Payday 3 will be Game of the Year for 2023, yes. But I guess we'll probably be wrapping up the stream here, guys. I could try to add you, big guy. What is it? I'll probably be wrapping up the stream here. I'll still stick around for a few minutes and answer any questions before I go, if anybody wants to ask me anything. Best streamer on YouTube. Thank you, Rowan. What's next GTA lore? It'll probably be next week. I will, I'm making a lore video on Mr. K in GTA. I'm going to be explaining his backstory. Mr. K is actually based on a real person. A lot of people don't know that, but I'm going to be doing a video on that. I see your PSN. No, big guy, didn't see it. I was literally just going to wave. And, like, and... Why? Oh my god, okay, yeah, this is, Oh, I see it now, big guy, okay. Oh, he died? What the... It's just that... Yeah, that was that. I think he, respawned, because when you respawn, you can actually, yeah. Many 5M servers limited slots in the service charge for a priority pass. I believe Rockstar is going to capitalize on that. And we're going to see. Oh, yeah. he's not very happy about that. Yeah, that was that. Yeah. And I'll tell you something. This guy that I'm firsting, this guy here, there's no way that this guy is a level 20 whatever. You know, no. At close or mid-range, either the Ingrams or the M4 at long range. Use either the M79 or a sniper rifle. Not recommend melee weapons. Okay. Aw, come on, man. It's just damn. The 5M video, I'll probably do a video talking about 5M tomorrow. Come on. That's just, the shotguns are getting annoying here. This is a terrible place to spawn here. I wish that they would have done a single-player DLC for this game. I really wish they would have, but they didn't, unfortunately. Oh, come on with the shotgun. It's getting annoying now. I'm just trying to lasso him. Pro, can I add you on PlayStation? Got no one to play Payday 3 with. Okay, Greatest Within. But what's your PSN name? Okay. Oh, he's on the roof? Yeah, like I said, guys, there's no way that this guy's like a new player. This guy's not new. This guy's level 28, but there's no way this guy's level 28. He made a new character. There's I mean, look at this. Yeah, there's no way this guy's a new player. Yeah. I'm gonna give up at this point. I should have just shot him from the start, but I was trying to lasso him, but... Okay. I'll probably add you tomorrow then, man. I'll add you also greatest within. Yeah, he's getting so annoying with that shotgun. I think somebody killed him. Once you get my poker money back. What's going on over here? Why do you keep spamming down the D-pad? I guess it was to look at the map. What's up, Omar?
Don't let that life weigh too heavy on you. There's your money.
You know in Minor Turbulence you can go back into the trailer and Trevor tells Michael there are clean towels at the store? No, I didn't know about that, a big guy. No, I haven't, I've never watched that, Proddy. I'm willing to do another video, Dark Viper AU, one day again. Yeah, we could do it. Hi, Brandon. Not really, JBK. But I guess I'm gonna be going here, guys. Probably wrapping up the stream. If anybody has any last questions for me before I go, I'll answer them. But it's been fun hanging out. You missed after message is related to Max Payne 1. What, you told me to keep my distance and use the M4, right? When the shotgun enemy, Zach? Where do you get all your outfits from? Amazon? Yeah, I'm gonna be considering doing Max Payne 2. I mean, the graphics and the combat are decent, but the story wasn't really that good, Blind Eagle. What bunker glitch? Are you talking about the one where it would, delete your vehicle? Yeah, it's been fixed for like a month now. Do you think Palpatine from Star Wars is a psychopath? Oh yeah, definitely. Oh, multiple sniper shots. Okay, Zach. Well, thank you for telling me. Maybe one day, Missouri. Well, I'm gonna be going, guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you for watching the stream, and I'll have that Saints Row video for you tomorrow, the next part of Saints Row. So, you know, that DLC that's out. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one. And who is Mr. K based on? I'll show you my lore video, but there's a real life guy that was actually kidnapped by the government that was innocent who Mr. K is based on. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. And no, Tony Montana I would not say is a psychopath, Mr. Juck, because he cares about his friends and his sister, too, even though he's a messed up person. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys on the next one. Take care, everyone. Have a wonderful day, guys.